working for you. Fox 2 News Morning starts now.
Politics can lead to a really divisive discussion, but there's a way to do it peacefully.
Is there?
I don't know.
Is there?
That's what we're saying. We have got an interview that teaches, we're going to learn, guys, civility. Yeah. Civility when you're having conversations with people that you don't agree with. How do you do it? We're going to have the how-to guide.
Yeah, there's a whole movement behind it, and so hopefully they can start spreading the word, get it out to everyone.
Yep.
This obviously is not an innate ability within humans. This is a learned skill, it seems.
Most of us are more alike than we are different.
Right. So why do we focus so much on the differences?
It's a pretty big country. If everybody thought the same, it wouldn't be called a different country.
Yeah.
It'd be called something else.
Yeah. Okay, you ready for a good discussion? How about this? The art of handling political conversation with civility. Coming up, Henry Ford College hosting a unique forum on polite politics. How can you disagree but still be friends? Ryan Armani.
Oh, you tell me, Dina Centofanti.
Well, there are a lot of things to disagree on, right? The election, the economy, labor strikes, politics, everything will heat up, especially as we get closer to the election season. There is a special initiative happening. It's designed to teach us how to handle these conversations with civility. Founder of the Civility Project and editor for the Detroit News, Nolan Finley, joining us live to tell us more about this and about Civility Night. Nolan, good morning.
Good morning, Dina. Good to be with you.
Well, it's good to talk to you. Man, it seems like we're watching fights break out at NFL stadiums. Of course, we've got political arguments happening. Explain to us why this Civility Project is something that's so important to you and why you got into it.
Well, this is something Steve Henderson and I founded a couple, 3 years ago. We're just trying to tone down the hostile level of the discourse. There's just too much hate out there, and we have fallen into this habit of thinking we can't possibly have anything in common. We can't possibly develop friendships or relationships with people who don't agree with us politically. And, most of us don't talk to folks who hold different political views. We don't talk politics with them. We just keep in our own little bunkers, our own little groups, and it develops a lot of misconceptions, a lot of assumptions that turn out to be quite harmful to the level of discourse in our society.
So how did we get here, Nolan? Because we've always had robust debate is what makes democracy great, right? So how did we get to this level of where we can't even have the other side in the room, let alone a conversation?
It's been a long process. A lot of it has to do with the partisan nature of our politics. We've sacrificed principle for partisanship, and what seems to be most important in our politics today is that our party be in charge at all costs. And, it's led to some misunderstandings between people, and it's led to, as I said, a great deal of hostility.
There's also, I would point out social media, and also not even social media, but just people who feel free to say cruel, critical things, name-calling without regard.
Now, we have seemed to become very emboldened, particularly by social media. We say things on social media we'd never say face-to-face or perhaps even over the telephone. I don't know. It was supposed to be a medium that brought us together, and it's turned out to tear us apart. Now, maybe that'll level out over time, but right now there's not much sociable about social media.
So, Nolan, give us a quick how-to. How do we look someone in the eye who we think, oh, they support this person politically, they must be an idiot? How do we change that narrative in our minds?
And that's our basic premise at the Great Lakes Civility Project, is that, all good people come to their opinions in the same way. They take the information, the facts that are available, they run through them through the filter of their own experiences and personal values, and they come up with a viewpoint. If it's different than ours, different than yours, it doesn't make them evil or stupid. It just means they've lived a different life. And we urge people to talk about those experiences, talk about those beliefs before you make assumptions about people. And that's what we'll be discussing tomorrow night at Henry Ford College in Dearborn, 6:30 in the Mazzara building. The Great Lakes Civility Project, Stephen and I are going to be running through our tips and talking to people about how we've been able to maintain a civil relationship and a close relationship despite our tremendous differences politically. You're not going to find two people who differ more politically than Stephen and I.
Yeah, it is an interesting juxtaposition because you've got two journalists who are longtime friends, but also see the world very differently. So it's a perfect way to learn about the art of civility. Is there a website, Nolan, that we can go and learn more?
GreatLakesCivilityProject.com.
Do you feel like you're making any headway? It's been 3 years in the making. Are we getting any better?
Well, there's an appetite for it, and that's hopeful. I mean, people do come to our sessions. We've done 100 or so of these over the last 3 years, and so there is sort of a hunger for a better level of discourse in our society. I don't think people want to be this divided.
All right, and as we put up there on the screen, conversation is not a competition. Don't take things personal.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to win when you're discussing politics with someone. I mean, you can learn a lot without ever coming to an agreement. And we're not out here trying to get people to agree. We know that's not going to happen. If Steve ever agreed with me on major issues, I'd probably just fall over and say, it's time to go home.
Right. Right.
But we still have very vigorous conversations, and we learn a lot in the process, and that's the idea here, is to get back to the point where we can accept that people are different and perhaps learn from them.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, what's going on in my brain is not what's happening in your brain, or same goes for my life experience. So keep that in mind. Nolan Finley, always interesting to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the time this morning.